Hello guys, there is this GBP USD trade that we took last week. I did not show you guys my thought process. So this was the trade, this was the expected take profit for at least a 1 to 5, and then this is how it played out. There are some that I didn't take, but I was seeing them. I will explain the reason why I didn't take some of them. So like that was another entry. I did not take this entry as much as I saw it. There's some 8-foot stop loss, and then a target of that would be a 1 to 11. That is extremely unnecessary. A 1 to 6 will just be fine for this trade. So this is how the trades move. So you can see this one moved rapidly to take profit and then back to break even. So this is the trade. This is the trade that went to break even. Then this is the trade that one of the students or the people we trade with took. So let me explain the thought process here and what happened here. There was equally another trade here that I didn't take on the starting day. There was another one here for risk entry. I didn't take this one as much as it went to 1 2. They needed 1 to 4. And then there was also another entry somewhere here. If you didn't want to take risk entry, there was another entry over there that also went for at least a 1 to 3 before break even. So let me explain all this thought process now. The reason why I didn't take this one that went nicely is because the account I was trading was not my own. It's a friend of mine's account, and I didn't want to over risk it. If it was mine, I would have over risked it, obviously, by adding this position here to take a 1 to 6 or even just a 1 to 4 or a 1 to 5, because the checklist we use is very straightforward and only needs a 1 to 4. So but I didn't take it because I didn't want to get the person into heavy drawdown just in case the trade goes out like this. So that is why it went for a break even. This is a break even trade, as you can see here. So that is how the trade went to be. And then another reason why I didn't want to over risk it is because the previous day had closed bearish, and that was negative sign, and therefore was unnecessary to take the trade. Now let me break down this in the simplest form possible, at the same time using the same checklist to tell you exactly what was happening back last week that informed the entry. So let's go to the daily time frame, because this strategy demands that you must always be checking on the daily time frame whether you want to scalp or not. So this was the day. I presume this was the day. So if you check here, the first part of the checklist is 1 day time frame closes 3 times in one direction or on an already trending market. Like in this case, we can see this was already trending market, and therefore let me explain what happened here. So 3 times in direction means that like in this case, this was first close, second close. So after this close, there was buys here to be looked at. Maybe the checklist did not look for this. I did not look for this buy because the other pairs that correlate to this was selling, and therefore I didn't need to look for this particular buy this day. Now since the market was still on a buy, according to this move, this is still on a buy. Now what happened again is this: we got another closure in our direction, buys, then another closure on opposite direction. So it still just needs a lot of patience. So that is why this day you can see both, because the market had already turned bullish. It's only that the momentum was still being pushed down by the DXY. Now, so after seeing this, now we got clearly 1 2 3 candle closing in our direction with this momentum. So that means that this next day you are supposed to look for buy, that can take these highs. So according to the checklist, we've seen at least 3 candles closing in our own direction. The alternatively was to look for buys this day here, because the candle had already closed in opposite direction, this sell, and then now we get another close in our direction, which is buy, which means that the momentum of buys are kicking in. So this was the best place again to look for entries using the same checklist. So you go to first 4 hours alignment. So let me see, first 4 hours alignment. So this was the first 4-hour alignment. This was the alignment that took place here. This was the first 4-hour alignment here. Maybe let me just break it down. Then as you can see, if I apply discretion, like the market is turning, the wicks are showing that the market is turning, because we get some sweep here, and instead of going down we get another sweep here. So it would be glad to see it pull this side, because this is London open, and we've not seen any alignment on the upward, because we are looking for buys. It has just come to retest on this particular order block or order flow on a lower time frame. It is order block on higher time frame, but order flow on the lower time frame. So you can just see that the market is obeying this. So we are expecting the market to now go up, since it has aligned on the bullish side. So after aligning this way, this is a very big move, so we apply discretion before proceeding to entry. If the first 4 hours alignment heavily moved and left OBs or supply and demand zone, that should be filled first. Now as you can see, there is some imbalance here. This is a very big move, so we are expecting that at least it should come and fill this imbalance before proceeding to take this high. And this should be your, if you're people who like taking partials, which I discourage, this should be your take profit one. So if it heavily moves like this, don't then expect it to move in the course of the day. So we go to 1 hour and start monitoring if we can get two candle closing in our direction. Now even from the 1 hour perspective, we can see that this is a very big move. So let's see if we get some pushback. Now we get a pushback down. Let's see if we sustain. Now we get a push up. Let's see if it closes again in our direction. Now let's see that we get this is a close. This is a sell candle close. So that means that we cannot look for entry here. And even if you are skeptical, you can still move to the last part of the entry that will give you an entry on 30 minutes. So I would look for entry there, and that, as you can see, if you went to this option, still you couldn't get the entry. So it is like the pulling is now successfully happening. Now this internet has now started messing me again. So let's proceed. So let's see, we get a push down. Now that closes bullish. So let's see if we get another close bullish. Unfortunately we didn't get an entry, because after this close bullish, the entry would have been nice if it just closed, and then it closed, and then somewhere here, then we tap here and then we proceed. The other alternative is was to look for entry here, which I discourage. So it means that after this first 1 hour close, you can skip this part and only look for this if you still want to refine. Let's see if it gave entry. So the entry was right here. The entry was at the, when this high was taken, this was your entry. It was above there, below there, and that should be the take profit. So let's see if it moved. If it moves back, yeah, that would have been a nice entry. Then if it moved back, then it means that it would have retapped the one we wanted, the order block we wanted, sorry. So this is the order block we wanted to get entry from. So basically we would have gotten entry, because that would be real time, and real time at least it gives you room to check trades and move on. So this was our rightful OB and should be done in the first 1 hour. And this trade, this is how it is moving. So let's see if we can get a 1 to 4. If it doesn't give us a 1 to 4, then we should be comfortable taking a break even. Like I said, after 2 hours, after these 2 hours closes like this, and then there's an imbalance like this, look to take entry at the discounted zone, or basically at the scope or entry OB. As you can see, it just came, tapped it, and then moved away. So let's see if it gives a 1 to 4. Does it give a 1 to 4? There's no 1 to 4 here, unfortunately. Didn't give a 1 to 4, so it must have hit you on a break even for a 1 to 3.5, and that is the nature of the game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes you go break even. Now, coming to the following day, this is the day you wanted it. You can still proceed with the checklist because we are still bullish. You can still proceed with the checklist by looking at this 1 2 3. So at least we have 3 close in our direction. So if these 3 close in our direction, we can still look to take buys that should be taking this low. That is overall target, because we need some pullback after this heavy move. That would be the ideal target. Nobody said that it must happen like that. So if you go to 4 hours, as you can see, that was the previous day move. So it's obvious that now we are turning to bullish. So let's see if the first, as you can see, the first 1 hour of the day aligns. I don't know if it aligns perfectly or under is somehow sometimes shitty. So I'll soon be migrating to FXCM. So you can see there was an alignment there. There was an alignment of the daily time frame, so we just expect some pullback, because now we are at if you check fib level, we are at premium zone. We need it to come to discounted zone, or just at some pullback down here, and then we proceed. So let's see, now that is now perfect alignment, and then this is just before London Open. So if we get such an alignment before London Open, then we will have to relax and then wait to see if London opens. So you've seen that at least 3 candles have closed in the row, and then first 4-hour candle aligns and closes in overall direction first. If first 4-hour alignment occurs early, then we have to wait. So this one has occurred early, and therefore we have to wait for London. We have to wait for London. So let's see. So far there is no imbalance here to be filled, so any movement above would be nice to take this low. So let's see if London opens. London opens at 10 a.m. my time. So let's see. Now if we see that this is 9 a.m. so 9 a.m. and everything is set, because we've already seen first alignment, we've already seen even second alignment, which is not necessarily important. So we've also waited for the first 1 hour candle of the new 4 hours to close. So we've seen this is the first 1 hour candle has closed in our direction, second one has closed, but the only thing that is limiting is timing. So if that is the case with the timing, then we have to wait for London, and when London open, it should come and tag us in here and then take us to take profit. So just be on the lookout that London comes with a lot of volatility, and therefore may not respect this 5 pip stop loss, but you can still get your 1 to I prefer 1 to 6. If you can just take 1 to 5, since it's London and you expect that after taking this, maybe it can pull back down if there is no momentum. So when London opens, you can see immediately comes and tags us in, and then moves. You can see it moves. This was a 1 to 5, so 1 to 4 was equally fine, and that is how 1 to 4 went about. Now in the event that you still want to confirm, because London can still open and fail to and liquidate you, still just want to confirm when session opens, any session, New York or London, when they open, they can easily liquidate us before going our way. So sometimes you can just reserve yourself and don't take it and proceed to entry 2, which is when 30 minutes candle closes in your desired direction, and it's high or low taken by the next 30 minutes. So you go to 30 minutes and wait and see if we get a tap here, and then you can see this was not a close in our direction. That is now a close in our direction. So to get a sniper entry, just look to see this being taken, and then we get a small pullback. So you can still refine this by even going to 5 minutes or even 1 minute to see if that high goes, immediately look for entry. If that high goes, immediately you can look for entry. But now that is now being petty or being over refining. But if you want to get a good entry after after session has opened, that is the best thing to do. Just go to 5 minutes and keep tracking the entry. So let's see if this high goes, then it has confirmed that it has aligned in the desired direction. You can see immediately it goes, then it comes down. So from this you can decide to take your entry at this imbalance here, stop loss above here, because now you don't expect this market to come and push down here. Now if you wait only on 30 minutes, this would happen and you may not see this pullback down, or if you see pullback, you can take just immediate entry, and this should be giving you, you should be targeting at least a 1 to 4 according to this strategy. Should be targeting a 1 to 4. So you can see that this entry occurred and immediately it moved. Let's see. So that was the trade. So this should have been a break even if you're targeting a 1 to 4, a break even. But if you are somebody who like rolling their stop losses, maybe you walked out with something. So this is the best way you could have gotten this trade. So I didn't look at this because there were some small news here that I didn't like, so I just waited to see further development or just for free trade. So that is what was happening in my mind by that particular time, and luckily that is exactly what happens. So if you go to 1 hour and now start monitoring things, you will see that at this particular point now I was comfortably looking for, I was now looking, this was another news, this day was full of news, so I was equally looking to see again 30 minutes do the same thing it did here. So let's see, pushes down again. Those are just liquidity hands. So see 30 minutes, you're still waiting for 30 minutes. So these are just liquidity hands, or you can still wait for 1 hour to close in your direction properly. So you can see that day it really heavily sold. That was even discouraging. So this was the first 30 minutes closed, but now the problem is that in the next 30 minutes we were expecting news. The next 30 minutes was news. So that is what happened. News, you cannot take just news like that, because you would be risking a lot. So that was the best entry, and if you wanted to take that entry, that was the best entry. Or you could go to 5 minutes and see if you get some pullback into this candle like this for a 24 pip stop loss. So we didn't do that. We just waited for news to go, and immediately news was done. I think it was NFP. So 1 hour had already left some imbalance here that we needed to be filled, like what it did there in London session. So this was so big, and that is why I opted to refine it like this and take trades on half. Now the reason why I take it on half, I encourage you that if you're taking it on half and then you don't expect it for the market to come and target immediately, like in this case. So 1 hour started and immediately you can see this was another news. So there were so many news that day. This was another news, so we had to wait overnight and then expect to see this being tagged. Now if you're waiting for overnight, I recommend that you lower your stop loss because you're expecting a deeper pullback. So that was the case. So waited like that. So it was, this trade was tagged overnight. It was tagged overnight like that. Then when I woke up, I found out that there was now second entry here. That is, if you are just waiting again to see, if you are only waiting to see when we get immediate 1 hour close in our direction, meaning 2 hours, meaning we need at least 2 candles of 1 hour to close in our direction. So you can see this is the first 1 hour, this is the second 1 hour. So you can look to enter this one. There's no imbalance, everything is very much efficient, and therefore you can take your stop loss there and target another one. You can even target this particular overall high, but that may take time to mature. That would be a nice 1 to 13, but I recommend just look for 1 to 6 maximum, a minimum of 1 to 4, or even a 1 to 5. I always balance between 1 to 4, 1 to 5. So that should have been the trade, and as you can see, it went again. But now I did not enter here because I said I was trading friend's account that was in drawdown, and I just wanted to pull it out. Again, the previous day had closed sales. The previous day had closed sales, as you can see, and I'm always directed by the previous day's closing. So it means that this was not good looking. We don't take trades when the previous day has closed in a wrong direction. We look to take trades when the previous day has closed in the rightful direction. Like if you are trading this day, so if you are trading if you are looking for this trade this day, but unfortunately we couldn't do that because the previous day had also closed bearish. So we only look to take such entries, that is additional entries, if the previous day closed in our direction. Alternatively, you can always just risk but now have a very tight stop loss. So that is how this trade came to be. So you can join here, it's free. And then if you are that serious like others, you can always ask for me to have a Zoom meeting so that you can have a direct one-on-one coaching from me. It's free, so I don't charge anything at the moment.